Jimmy and Johnny, two friends of mine, skinheads, what they claimed. Outside similarities, but they don't feel the same. Johnny thinks Jimmy's a mod, and Jimmy thinks Johnny's a... Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails. Today I want to talk about buying mods in shipments, or the mod store, whatever you want to call it, and this is going to carry over into farming mods and everything. Of course, we can't get too specific about anything, but I think in general, people are kind of missing the point on the mod store and why you should be, which ones you should be buying. I keep seeing people with like 600 million credits, and in general, I'll just say this as a blanket, and there's no offense meant, but I do think that if you don't have a credit problem in this game, then you're probably not farming mods well. Frankly, like you need to be paying attention and farming them as much as you can in that mod store, and you need to be farming them elsewhere and everything. But especially with GAC being what it is now, mods are ultra important in this game. They've always been very important. They're what make the game awesome, actually, even if they're boring as hell to actually compete in. So this is my guide on how to farm them, which things to buy. Now, ultimately, people are going to disagree with me. That's just how it works. But, you know, keep it respectful in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. I'm not the sole arbiter of truth. This is just my approach. Let me know that maybe there's something that I can learn that's going to be better than... You know, maybe you guys can teach me. That would be great. But one way or another, I do want to remind you guys that if you want to support the channel for free, all you have to do is hit that thumbs up button, or, you know, leave a comment in the comment section. Do both of them if you want. Tell your friends about this video or this channel in general. Have them hit that sub button. We're almost to 10K subs, which would be super epic. And if we get to 10K, we can start focusing on what's most important, 20K. No, I mean, it would be great to just finally finish that. We could get into 5 figures and, you know, join the semi-elite group of YouTubers who get there. So really appreciate the support so far, guys. Really, really do. You guys have been amazing. We're very close. Less than 100 subs to go. Let's see how quickly we can knock that out. That being said, let's jump into the actual modding guide. We're gonna actually stay here for it. We got a whole modding slideshow. I was gonna say spreadsheet. I also have those, but that's not part of it. So, all right. In general, and remember, guys, we're being generalized here because it's very difficult to make a super specific guide. I'll probably try to flesh this all out in further modding videos, but in general, 3 basic types of mods. They're going to be like the speed and support type of mod. Then there's going to be mods for tanks and for damage dealers. Remember, there's going to be very complex exceptions to all of these, but in general, that's the way I see it. You have damage mods, you have tank mods, and speed or support mods. In general, speed secondaries are going to be universally important on characters. Now, that's how you tell if a character, if a mod is worth buying, is if it has a speed secondary. Generally, and I didn't write this down, I apologize, but you need to have speed at 4 or 5 to make it worthwhile, because if it starts at 3, even if you roll really well, you're already missing a couple points of speed that could be possible on the mod. And a lot of times, if you have limited resources, you don't want to waste your resources on a mod that's already limited in potential. So, I mean, if you have an overwhelming amount of credits, then sure, 3 might be nice. Or if you have really good speed secondaries, or if you have a pretty rare mod set of some sort, like a crit damage set with crit damage, with crit damage on the primary, plus also having +3 speed, that might be worthwhile, honestly. That may very well be worthwhile, especially if there's offense as a secondary as well, so that you could potentially roll that anyways. You know, all of that stuff. So, you know, as I say, speed secondaries are good. +4 or +5 is going to be best. +3 can be okay, but only with exceptions. Speed secondaries are better than... percent secondaries are better than flat. You can't get a percent speed secondary, unfortunately, but you can get a percent offense, percent defense, percent... all the things are percent, and then there's flat as well to some of them are okay, but in general, you don't want to go for flat stats. You want percent secondaries because the way stats work right now, and this is before we get 7 dot mods, which I feel like we're going to get those any day now, frankly. But if we stick with 5 and 6 dot mods, generally speaking, percent secondaries are going to be way better, just because the stats as they're currently built, they keep increasing with relics, and then the mods are going to take those stats and make them way better. The flat secondaries are fine, like the plus offense and whatever, but they're not nearly as effective. They are what you. It's nice though. You can see you don't have to do math to be able to see what you get. They're just not going to be as impactful as the ones. If we get 7 dots, they may change everything because the modifiers might change. But one way or another, the percent secondaries are way better than the flat secondaries. Now, mod set plus mod primary is usually good, and by that I mean if you have a set that like for instance, if you have a crit chance set, then you get and if you can get a mod with a crit chance primary, which you guys will see an example of that's generally going to be what you want, because you want to maximize the stat that you're going for. You're trying to maximize the impact these mods have on your characters, and you're going for certain goals. Every character has a goal in mind for their modding, and if one character's like, oh, hey, I really want some crit chance. I really need to be able to crit in order to do what I do. Like Mando, for instance, the original Mando, he needs to be able to crit. If he doesn't crit, he's not doing his job. He's letting his whole team down. And we don't care about his damage because he disintegrates people. We care about his, some speed on him, of course, but then you really need him to crit. And so if you get a crit chance triangle with a crit chance primary on it, or crit chance set on the, if it's the set and the crit chance primary, that's going to be really important. Similarly, if you can get the mod set plus the secondary of that as well, a crit chance percentage in the secondary column, that's also amazing. Now, speed secondaries, again, rule all you want, 4 and 5+, and if you have an excess of credits, sometimes +4 or +5 speed is all you need to be able to justify it. Get it in a set that you wouldn't normally get it in. One fallacy that a lot of people make in this game is just going for straight up speed set. Speed set is nice, and speed does rule all, but keep in mind that other sets are going to be more impactful for certain characters. A lot of times the number of characters on a team that need to be super duper fast is pretty limited. Usually you need just one character to kind of start the engine and get the turn meter train rolling. And so in general, speed secondaries do rule all, but in the context of greater sets of, getting offense set, getting crit damage set, whatever you want, you need to make your character operate well and play to their mechanics, which, I have other videos that talk about how to do that, but for the most part, speed secondaries are good, but the speed set, it's probably the best set in general, just in the general, generalized speaking, for the whole game, but like offense set, also extremely in demand, and people have a criminally low number of fast offense sets. So keep working on those. Purple and gold mods, guys, if you buy them in shipments, that's what you want, because then you don't have to spend money or resources, whatever, to upgrade those mods to see if they're getting all the stats. If you roll a purple mod and you get 3 rolls on it, you generally know if that mod is going to be any good. If it's going to be good, you can spend to upgrade it once. And gold ones, you don't have to. It's just nice to know what you have. You buy it, you know what you have, you spend to upgrade it, and you toss it if you need to. Now, for the arrow types, they have a bunch of unique stats like crit damage or accuracy. The only 2 arrows that I don't really like are defense and accuracy. Accuracy, there's a decent argument to be made that you're going to want to, eventually we might want an accuracy arrow or 2, but still roll them, but I wouldn't buy them in shipments in general unless they just look really fancy. Same with defense. Defense in general, there's a couple characters who may want a defense arrow, but for the most part, they're kind of garbage. And really, especially if it's a damage arrow, a damage set, and you're getting defense, definitely not. So those are the generalized rules. Now, for speed and support ones, those are the ones I classify as speed or potency or tenacity sets. they have specialized goals. Sometimes they're usually for support characters who want to, a lot of times their whole goal is to be fast. Like Admiral Piet doesn't care what he has, really. You can, in general though, if you can specialize with a little bit of tenacity on him, I mean, I think that the team is going to be better just because he doesn't get stunned or dazed as easily, etc. If you, sometimes you want potency, though. If there's certain characters that it's like, well, yeah, the only reason they exist is to apply debuffs, then you want potency on them, and you want them to go fast and as often as possible. But remember, guys, if you do put tenacity on a character, it needs to be intentional. You need to have a reason for doing it, and you can't just put like a little tenacity on. Either you go just balls out and go only tenacity, or you don't put any extra on, because only a little bit of it does almost nothing. So you guys can actually search. I did a video a while ago on tenacity and how it works. You guys can search for that as well. Tank sets. So this is going to be defense set, health set, and tenacity. Once again, well, tenacity is only sometimes, and once again, it needs to be intentional. Some characters really want to have a ton of tenacity. Other characters don't care at all. B2 cares about having tenacity. Nest cares about having tenacity. Magna Guard cares about having tenacity, and random other tanks don't care about it at all. Like General Kenobi, he's a good tank, but he doesn't care about tenacity because he has mechanics that protect him from debuffs anyways, and you don't need it. And once again, you need to be intentional. You need to be putting as much tenacity on a character who wants it as possible. Don't just put one foot in, put both feet in. Crit avoid arrows with speed are going to be amazing for most of this. And defense primary is usually not worthwhile, guys. Usually, unless you're trying to manipulate stats in some way, you're generally going to want either protection or health, or crit avoid in this case, and that's basically it. Damage mods are the toughest ones to find in general, just because all of their stats are on the mods that have the highest variable of, the cross has a ton of different things that it could turn into. It has health or protection or defense or offense, etc. There's a ton of different things that it can be, and same with the triangle, same with the arrow. So these are the ones that you really want to be paying attention to for the most part. So this is going to be the offense set, crit damage set, and for the most part, crit chance. Crit chance is a lesser one, especially with relics giving us so much crit chance. That's not going to be as much of a consideration. Crit chance is sometimes not needed. As I say, some characters like Han Solo have more than enough crit chance in their kit. You can give them something else like potency or something like that. And percent offense, primary, secondary is pretty good on these ones especially. You want that percent offense, primary or secondary. That's going to be very important. And now let's talk about specific mods, and I'll give you guys examples of why this is good. So just in the store, like, these are all going to be examples of things you should buy. So why is this good? It has +4 speed, it's a purple mod, and it's the set and the secondary match. So it's a potency set, and it has a secondary with potency on it. Now it's because it's a diamond, it can't have a different primary, but it has a potency, it has potential there to be a really good mod. So yeah, it has the speed component and the set and the secondary match. Now this is a tenacity cross, and it has the tenacity as primary, which is really rare and really tough to find, actually. If you're farming tenacity mods, this is an extremely rare to find mod, but it's not rarer than any other mod in the mod store, so definitely worth looking at. It has speed on it, and then it has some it has defense, secondary. Like, none of these stats are necessarily good or bad. Like, flat health is not great, but I mean, what you're really looking for is speed plus speed in the secondaries and primary stat of tenacity with the tenacity set. Now, which one is so some of these are just taken as examples from my own roster. I took a lot of screenshots over the course of the last month or two, but in general, I wanted to flesh it out with my own examples. So here's a square that has speed secondary, and then it also has It has a support secondary as well, which is potency. In this case, this is for R2-D2. He likes having crit chance, he likes having potency, and obviously likes having some speed. This isn't maybe the very best mod out there, but having that extra potency roll all the way up to 5 rolls on is pretty nice. It's pretty good. So, that's one you can look for. It has speed, and it has another support element to it. Now, this diamond has speed as well. Obviously, it has some good speed, but then has a lot of difference. Whoa. That's the most awkward typo I've ever had. All right, well, you guys get that one for free, I guess, because I'm not going to go back and redo this whole video for that. But, gosh. Okay, so it has potency. It has protection, which is good for the percent of the thing that you say there. It has good protection, and it has offense as well. Like this is a mod that it's like no matter what you roll, you're gonna get good stuff. I mean, if it stays at +5 speed, that's not gonna be that great. But if you can get some good speed, then the rest of the stats are going to really be helpful for that mod in general. Now this one has it has speed on it. I mean, that's all of these that's universally what I've been showing you guys. And then the support set has it's a support set, so it has potency. That's nice. That's good. And then the percentage health is also really nice, actually. In general, you want percent health if you can find it. Now, here's another one with this is the one I already showed you guys with R2. I apparently doubled up. Okay, here's a tank set now. We did a bunch of the secondaries, of the support ones. Here's a tank one, so it has to have a primary of offense because it's a square, but then it has defense and protection as secondaries and speed, and then the flat defense is fine, but in general it has protection and defense. That's a pretty nice one. I mean, I would do it in general just with the speed plus protection, or in some cases just the speed, depending on what the base speed is. This one, now, if it's a cross with protection, that's even better because, as you guys know, the cross and the triangle have a ton of different potential outcomes. And so this one has protection, percentage, and speed. And then you also have tenacity, which, I mean, that's okay. Tenacity is fine, but as I say, you have to be intentional about tenacity. And frankly, if you have tenacity on a cross, you'd only get a tenacity cross you can only get tenacity as a primary on a cross, so you're already missing out on an opportunity. So the tenacity there is not really worth mentioning that much. Now this is the only blue one I have as an example, but this is a really nice one as an example. Like, you only have limited information, but you have +5 speed, you have the protection primary, and it's on a cross, so it's rare, and then you also have defense percentage, which is nice. Like, you hit all of the different stats there that you want. So, I would buy that one. In fact, I did just recently buy it. So I haven't rolled it yet, but hopefully it's going to be great. Hopefully it'll be amazing. So anyways, the next one, now we're going to do some damage set. Oh no, this is still tank. So this one has, did I double up on this one as well? That was fancy of me. Okay, so now we're going to do damage sets. We have, so I'm not going to focus on the primaries for circles because health and protection are good in different circumstances. But for this one, it has crit chance and it has offense in the secondaries along with speed. That's enough for me. The speed is usually enough, but the percent offense is really important as well, if you can find it. Now, this one has it has a damage set, and so it's an offense set, and it has an offense primary. That's great on its own, and then it has speed down there, and then it has crit chance and offense. That's good. This one's a pretty exciting one to find, actually, because you don't get that too often, especially farming mods. Now the offense set with crit damage, it has a damage primary, which is obviously crit damage, and then it also has a percent offense down below. Now, it's not the highest percent offense, but combined with the fact that it has speed and a percent health is pretty nice. This one, crit chance set with a crit chance primary, is pretty rare. I have very few of these in my roster. If you can pick these up, that's great. It has extra speed on it, and percent health is nice as well. The flat offense and protection are not really worth mentioning at all. except as potential points of failure where you actually roll those instead of getting speed upgraded. So the protection is here, well, protection primary, gosh, I'm just reading it. So it has an offense set, damage set, and then it has offense percent on the secondary plus speed, obviously pretty decent. You have an offense arrow with speed as a secondary. You have, again, this is offense percent secondary with, this is just the same thing over and over and over again. I just want to give you guys lots of examples so that you know what you're looking for. So this one, so this is an example of one that obviously I've rolled it pretty nicely. Like, having the extra percent health is very nice. The speed and everything, potency, with the offense primary. This mod is excellent, and I just happened to get lucky and didn't roll the health, the flat health at all. So this is a good mod. This became a good mod. It could also just roll the flat health 4 times and you throw it away. So finally, I wanted to show you guys one specialized one. This is one for Ray, and this is an example of why you can't just only base it off of the like generalized rules, because sometimes you want specific things. So I have a ton of different guides on how to mod different characters. You guys can go look at specific characters, and this is one example. This is how I mod Ray. You want as much health and as much offense as you can get for her. You don't care about almost any stat other than those 2 things. And so this is a health set triangle, but it has offense as the primary, because you want both. You want offense and you want health. And then if you have percent offense on the primary, then you also have percent health in the secondary. This is a very nice mod, especially with a little extra speed. And then the defense doesn't really hurt because it's on Ray, and she's going to make the most of it. So anyways, what did you guys think? I hope this helps you a little bit, at least, seeing some actual practical examples, and also just, in general, what stats you want to look for on mods and everything. So I can't tell you how to apply them. That's not within the scope of this. We've already been going for 22 minutes. So guys, I'm going to call it good. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails. Let's get to 10K, guys. Woo! Let's do it. Algo!